We took a closer look tonight at the connection between a prominent lawmaker and a Guilford County developer.
A controversial project is now moving forward in Summerfield after lawmakers voted to take the land away from the town. Senate Leader Phil Berger led those efforts. There has been lots of talk online about his connection to the developer behind the project, David Couch.
2 on CENO's Ben Briscoe went to Raleigh to follow the money and get the facts.
As the Summerfield bill worked its way through here at the state capitol, records show the project developer gave thousands of dollars to Senate Leader Phil Berger's campaign. This single sheet of paper shows a stack of money donated to Senate Leader Phil Berger's campaign. On December 21st of last year, the developer of the Villages of Summerfield Farms, David Couch, gave $6,400, the max amount allowed during an election cycle. If Mr. Couch was not a donor, would you have had the same interest in this topic?
Absolutely. In fact, we've worked on other similar situations where I couldn't tell you for sure who the property owners are.
Berger was the most vocal supporter of Bill 909, which de-annexed a section of Summerfield to clear the way for the project, a controversial housing development the town council had already voted down. The $6,400 donation was the most recent in a string of donations, totaling $33,400 since 2018. The December donation came 4 days after the Summerfield newspaper published an article saying there was no clear path forward for an agreement between the developer and the town. The donation also came 5 months before the bill was placed on the calendar for a vote in Berger's chamber. For a little more context, Couch was one of 85 donors who gave Berger the maximum amount last year, including Greensboro developer Roy Carroll. And Couch is given to other politicians and groups besides Berger. His biggest donation was $100,000 to the Club for Growth Action, a group which targeted Mark Walker in the congressional race to represent Greensboro. I reached out to the developer asking to set up an interview about his relationship with Senator Berger and received this statement back from a spokesperson. There is a very long list of reasons the legislature is considering de-annexing that make more sense than the one you imply. Summerfield is a government in chaos, as evidenced by the entire staff resigning en masse last month. Summerfield government has spent 10 years thwarting a private landowner's efforts to use his own land to build more housing, even as the region's in the middle of a housing supply crisis. To stop new housing, Summerfield's government has gone so far as to not allow modern water and sewer infrastructure over the past 20 years, even as multiple residents have died in house fires. Some people in Summerfield have raised questions about if those political donations impacted your decision to get involved with this bill. What would you tell them?
Not so. The situation in Summerfield was something where the town council really had overstepped what I think and a lot of other people felt were reasonable land use decisions, and in doing so they basically were infringing significantly on the property rights of Mr. Couch, probably on some other folks as well. And so it became clear to me after I think Mr. Couch had been trying to work with them for about 10 years that the town was not going to get in a more reasonable place as far as their land use, and really the only option that was left available to Mr. Couch was having his property de-annexed. I mean, there was another option that came up after folks started seeing what the town council was doing to the personnel in the town, and I had a number of folks come to me and talk about whether or not the town should actually exist at all and whether we should have revoked the charter of the town because of the abuses that were taking place. We didn't take that step. We are going to look a lot more carefully at the things that that towns are required to do in order to receive what really is a great deal of authority under state law to impact people's lives and their property.
If you want to see the records for yourself and the timeline of donations, just go to WFMYnews2.com and click on that 2 Wants to Know section. From Raleigh, Ben Briscoe, WFMY News 2.
And 2 Wants to Know fact-checked the developer's statement about multiple people dying in fires in Summerfield. The fire chief says 3 people have died over the last 17 years. He cannot pinpoint their deaths on the lack of water supply, but he says it is a problem. We are currently digging more into that issue.